Good morning. This is not quite a lean and green with me, but what I am going to do today is prepare for the freezer my own seasoned ground beef patties. So lean and green with me. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and I am living in the light by documenting my own health journey as I use the Optavia 5-in-1 program. With the Optavia 5-in-1 program, you eat 5 fuelings that come to you pre-packaged in your monthly Optavia box, but you also make what is called a lean and green meal, and that consists of 5 to 7 ounces of lean protein and 3 low carbohydrate vegetables. You can do that in any way. Sometimes you can just have something as simple as a piece of grilled chicken and a cup and a half of roasted vegetables as your side, or you can combine things together and make recipes, which is what I tend to do quite a bit. One of the things that I do like to do very quickly if I have a busy day is to throw some frozen turkey burgers into the air fryer. It makes for a really fast meal, but turkey burgers can be pretty expensive, and quite often there are fillers in there. There are ingredients that they put in that might not be so great. It might include some sugars and things that might throw you out of fat burn. So what I decided I was going to do was try to make my own ground turkey burgers, and I found out it's almost half the cost. Actually, it's less than half of the cost for burgers that have no seasoning in them whatsoever. So if I were to buy a 1.5 pound box of 93% lean Butterball frozen turkey burgers, that box of 1.5 pounds of turkey burgers is going to cost me at Walmart today $11.98, right? $11.92. However, I can also buy in the meat department at Walmart a 3-pound container of the same level of fat. So this is still 93% lean, 7% fat, so it falls into the lean category, not the leaner or leanest category. It falls into the lean category, and this 3-pound package costs $16.58. So for less than $5 more, I doubled the amount of turkey that I have, and I can make my own turkey burgers and add my own seasonings and know that it is 100% turkey plus whatever seasonings I put in. So I'm going to show you how I am going to do those turkey burgers. The first thing that I want to do is to go ahead and divide my turkey into 3 1-pound bowls, and then I'm going to season each of those bowls in a different way so that I can have a variety of seasoned turkey burgers. So the first thing I'm going to do, just start my scale, zero out my scale, and measure out 1 pound per package. One. And if Kroger didn't chip me, or Walmart didn't chip me, that should be exactly 1 pound. Oh, it's actually like a teensy bit higher than I do with that. That should even it out. It was like 1/4 ounce. Okay, I washed my hands. And the first one that I'm going to do is a taco kind. So I make my own taco seasoning. I just Google a recipe and I leave the salt out so that this is a lower sodium. According to the condiments list, since I'm going to make 4 patties, then I am going to use 4 condiments so that each patty has 1 condiment. And what that does is it allows me, when I make my meal using that turkey burger, it allows me to still have 2 condiments to use when I add, all right? The other thing to keep in mind is I'm gonna have 4-ounce patties here, but when they cook, they're going to be less than that. So we always do cooked weight. So probably when I use these burgers, I'm going to have to add some more lean to it. So I might throw in a piece of turkey bacon, or I might put some cheese on there, or I might have some other protein that I add to my meal just to round out that amount of lean for my recipe. So according to the condiment list, seasoning blends, you can have a 1/2 teaspoon per condiment. So if I add 2 teaspoons of taco seasoning to this, and this is a blend of cumin, chili powder, garlic, oregano. I can't really remember what all is in here, and I think that every time I make taco seasoning, I do it differently. So I would just say Google, find a recipe that looks like it has ingredients that sound good to you, and use that. So that's gonna be my taco one. I'm gonna mix them all up at the same time. This one I'm gonna do more as a Italian. So I've got Mexican, I've got Italian. So for the Italian one, I am going to use some basil first. Basil, you can have 2 teaspoons for 1 condiment, the dried basil leaves. So I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of dried basil. I'm gonna put in some oregano, and you can have 1 teaspoon of oregano leaves for a condiment. Then I'm gonna use some parsley. I'm almost out of parsley, and you can have a tablespoon of parsley for a condiment. So let me see if I can get. A tablespoon of parsley, and then I am going to do 1 clove of garlic, maybe. It's a teaspoon of garlic, and 1 might not be enough. The easiest way to peel garlic is to cut the ends off and then take a really sharp knife and then just slice along one edge, and those peels pop right off. I don't trust those little roly things, and they're too hard to clean. Usually it pops right off. There we go. And then I really like to use a microplane instead of, I feel like when I use my garlic press, I don't get very much garlic, and I like that garlic flavor. So I need a whole teaspoon. So I think I'm gonna have to do 2. I just have some small garlic cloves here. And while you're watching me do this, do me a favor. Just scroll down the page just a bit, hit the like button really quick, and hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. It really does help me out to know that there are people who are supporting me. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. All right, that's probably good enough. All right, my last one, I'm gonna do like a lemon garlic herb. So I have a tablespoon of lemon zest that I already did. Get all that lemony goodness out. Whenever I make my own breakfast sausage, I always use lemon peel, grated lemon zest, and it is so good. I'm gonna use a teaspoon, I'm gonna eyeball it, of garlic, because I don't wanna do that again, those little things. And then I am going to add in, for thyme, I can use 1 teaspoon of thyme. I really like the taste of thyme with lemon. It goes really well. And probably what I have here is, I'm not even sure if it is a tablespoon. It might be. Yeah, not quite a tablespoon. I'm going to throw a little bit more parsley in there from a new container, and then I will be right back. My next step is to combine all of these together, and then once I mix each one together, I am going to put these bowls in the refrigerator, and I'm going to let them sit there for about an hour. I'm not going to show you mixing them up. You know how to do that. Get your hands in there, mix, mix, mix. I'm going to have to wash my hands between each one, and I will get these in the fridge, and then after about an hour in the fridge, they'll be ready to form into patties, so I will be back to show you how I'm going to do that before getting them into the freezer. So I totally forgot, before I get too far, each one needs an egg. So I'm going to break an egg into each bowl, and then I'm going to mix. No fancy one-handed egg cracking here. All right, I'll be back. It's been an hour, and so now it's time to form the patties. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. What I'm thinking, I'm going to start with measuring out 4 ounces onto the parchment. And if I can go ahead and get these all measured out first. Try to be as close to 4 ounces as I possibly can. And I'm just going to zero this out between every single one. Try to keep one clean hand and one goofy hand. That saves from having to do a whole lot of hand washing. Should be 4 ounces. Oh, you know what? It's actually going to be a little bit more than 4 ounces because I forgot that I added stuff. They're going to be roughly 4 ounces. I'm going to do my best to kind of give a little bit and kind of make them a little bit even. That should probably be really good right there. All right, so the next step then is I'm going to show you with one, and then I'm going to do the other ones. If I have all of this in the center, and this is a very large biscuit cutter, and I'm just going to press this down and try to get it to the edges of the biscuit cutter so I can try to make a round, even patty. And guys, this is purely trial and error. I've not done this before, so I'm just crazily making a video of something that I've never done. How's that? And I will move the camera over for my next one, now that I know what I'm doing here. So I've spread it out, and then I should be able to lift this off, ta-da, and have a nice round patty that I can then put on my baking sheet. These are gonna eventually go in the freezer. So let me wash my hand, and I'm gonna reposition my camera so that you can see the actual process of spreading out the turkey burgers. All right, we're gonna see how this works. Looks like you can see everything. So I'm just going to press it down and just smush to the outside edges as much as I can. And then once I get to the edges, then I can make sure that I have it kind of even. So I can push it around. It's pretty malleable. And then lift off, and I have my patty, and I can move on to the next one. So I was able to put 6 on each tray. What I'm gonna do is cover these in plastic wrap. I'm gonna slide them into my big freezer out in the garage and give them a couple of hours, probably 3 or 4 hours, and they should be frozen solid. And then I can just stack them up and put them in Ziploc freezer bags. I did go ahead and write an I for the Italian season 1, an L for the one that has the lemon, and then a T for the taco, because the Italian and the lemon especially look exactly the same. So just use a Sharpie, just write on the parchment. This is parchment paper and not wax paper, so make sure you do that. And that way, once they're frozen, you can stack them on top of each other and they won't stick together. And then you can cook them from frozen. I'm gonna try that tonight for dinner. And at some point, I'll let you know how that went. So thank you for joining me. Again, if you have not subscribed or liked the video, if you would just hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know that you are supporting me on this journey. And I will see you next time. Until next time, keep living in the light.